IShowSpeed's, like, he's his manager, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And like just really rude, and just because he knows a few English, he's like no, like, and it just like
Hello, welcome to SNT Chats, where we bring you IShowSpeed. I actually don't know about this streamer, honestly. The only reason why I saw his video is because on Instagram, there was, apparently he was in China, and then he asked a little girl, was like, what's my full name? And then the little girl was like, Darren Watkins Jr. And then I was like, who? So then when I looked into more, apparently IShowSpeed was in China to explore the country's vibrant culture, trying new foods, and was interacting with locals. So his China tour began March 24th, and he went to various cities, including Shanghai, Beijing, and Chongqing. So in order to know like what he enjoyed in China, I guess, I went on Douyin, and then there's basically a lot of videos of him going around different spots in Chongqing. Like there was a tour guide basically who just like took him to a lot of different places, met different people, and the tour guide kind of like, showed him the best parts of Chongqing.
I think he popped up on my YouTube recommendation. Not to be racist, but he's black, right?
Yeah.
And then he like eats food, right?
He does everything.
He does everything?
Yeah. He kind of like streams his life on...
Yeah, was there a video of him like, I think the title was like, the most spiciest hot pot in the world?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't see, I didn't view his whole stream, but then there was this section where he was eating out in the open with like a whole bunch of spectators. And then there was like Chinese guides like telling him what it is and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I saw his recommendation on YouTube.
So I just want to bring up that Chongqing does look beautiful. Like whatever the things that he saw, it was really nice. It was really fun. The people that he met, including Jackson Wang, who is a singer. Right, and then there's also Zhang Dada, who's like a famous comedian. I mean, I think he's a comedian because if you haven't already, go watch The Great Escape. He also has famous songs, right? So he met this bunch of people, and then the reviews were really nice. They basically did a PR for China.
Him, his channel, right?
Yeah, his channel unknowingly, well, I guess knowingly, did a PR for China. And then, so there's a lot of people who's praising him for doing that. And then there's also a lot of people who's like bashing on him, saying, oh, like how can he follow Chinese propaganda? He's being paid for it, like all that kind of stuff, right?
The bashing part is on like Instagram and YouTube, kind of, right?
I think so.
It's
that's where
Douyin.
he posts. Yeah. That's where he posts his videos on YouTube. So his own videographer came out and said that fact, IShowSpeed is not getting anything for this. He's touring China out of his own pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really nice. He's trying different culture, different foods.
That's very nice.
Different experience. Yeah. What I think I want to share with you guys is how, yes, China, Chongqing is beautiful, but you can't forget that there's also another side of Chongqing that the tour guides don't want you to see.
Yeah, it's like a really popular Netflix show called Nan Hong, the first Frost, that's showing on Netflix, the one with Bai Jinting. Like it's pretty popular. But in that drama, there's like where they film the scenery, like it's an actual place in China. It's like two buildings. It's like a building, and then the subway train comes out of that building.
Okay.
And then like people, like content creators, they went there to go see it, and it is really like
beautiful.
Like, yeah, it is really beautiful, and it is like like what you see in the C-dramas, like. China is very beautiful. There are very beautiful places.
Yeah.
But it's like, do most people live like that? And is that all of China. Kind of.
Yeah. I guess it's nice that China is trying to do PR for their country. You know, as tourists, like we can totally go and enjoy China. That's for sure. But we have to understand that like not all of the Chinese people living in China are happy. Same thing with the people living in the United States. You know, there's always that social differences between the rich and the poor.
For sure.
And I feel like let's not even talk about rich and the poor. Let's just talk about like the Chinese everyday life people, the people in the middle class section. You know, like how do they live?
Is there a middle class in China?
There's rich and then middle and then poor, but most of them are just poor people.
Yeah, I think it's mostly like the gap is like that little in the middle. I think the biggest difference between China and the rest of the world that's not communist governmented is the freedom that we are granted. You know, like in America, I can voice like my opinion. You might not agree, but I have that opportunity or that chance to say it and not be like, oh, if I say this, will I get persecuted? Like, will I get jailed? You know, will it hurt my family?
Exactly. And then, so the thing is, it's very technologically advanced in China. There's this scene that IShowSpeed was like, oh, I'm gonna go into a tunnel. I don't know if I'm gonna have data, but he did have data, you know? So it does show that China is pretty advanced in some parts of their cities. But you have to know that I believe that IShowSpeed's team is using a international SIM card. So then he has the access to, I don't know, like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. But in China. If you're
then he has
Chinese
to have
people,
a VPN.
No.
He doesn't have a VPN?
No, if you get your SIM card from the airport, you already have unrestricted access because you're a foreigner. When I went to China, I went to the concierge and then I got an international SIM card.
Oh, you mean in China?
In China.
Oh.
Yeah. And that international SIM card allows me to go on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the good stuff.
Everything.
But that's because you have to show them your passport and be like, hey, I look like I'm Chinese, but I'm actually American. Yeah. But the Chinese people, they don't have full access to the internet. I guess the ABCs in America, or like the people who came out of China, called the cybersecurity the Great Wall because they're like, you know, like Chinese, the CCP, they're basically restricting the access. So if you are Chinese and you do want to go on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, you have to use a VPN.
Yeah, because the only allowed media or access are the only ones owned by that are Chinese. The company based are Chinese. Yes.
Or they approve you for whatever reasons. So that's one part of what I want to share. And then this last part would be in the whole entire stream, IShowSpeed is very cordial. Like he's very respectful. Like there's this one part that you kind of see how his character is that like in the middle of a street, he saw a couple standing for their wedding photo shoot, I think. And then he was like, hey, like, congratulations, can I help you take a photo? And then he asked, but they didn't understand English. So then he had a translator translate. And then in the meantime, he's just standing, you know, he's not like trying to like take the camera over, like, give it to me. Let me take a picture for you. He's very respectful of others, you know? And then in the stream, I saw this video on Instagram and it basically says, I don't know if this is true or not, but there's this one guy who keeps following IShowSpeed and then he's a GM of a Chongqing restaurant. And then the Chinese dude is so disrespectful. Like you can see the difference between IShowSpeed versus this Chinese dude. Like,
was he a guide or?
he's a guide.
Oh, he's the guide.
He's not a guide. He's just a random person. He's not a random person. He's just someone who wants to
show him the restaurants.
Yeah, or like be on stream speed so that he gets that
publicity.
Yeah, he gets that publicity.
Okay.
Yeah. So then there's 2 instances from this video that I want to bring up.
你好，你好。Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Why do you got a fucking speaker?
No sentiments. Definitely.
No.
You cannot wait.
Bro, no, I'm allergic. He's allergic. I'm allergic to shit. No. Amboss. Yes. 我们都是做餐饮的，我们希望我们是朋友，但是我们可以在床上互相尊重。OK， 你可以起来一下，我要介绍一下啊，不然我明天就去重庆。好，听过吗？感受过，当风听过，当风 flow， 别老常说，感受学你说不透。我分析变到现在几个火星，今晚的雨还在掀起牛皮石头，问候药。我的现在爱你，现在觉得我往哪走？不能跟我最后就能操他，从这么美多的满场说太多，今天被温柔行为，我们来走，不争比这个。
It basically says there's 8 parts, right? But I just want to bring up 2 parts. And then the first part is that when they were eating, you can see that the guy is like on the side, like, hey, I'm the boss. Yeah. I have like business relationship with him, which he doesn't. Like, you have to give me the seat because, otherwise I'm going to go to Chongqing and go find you.
Yeah.
Like in a very subtle, threatening way. But when people of power, especially this GM, general manager of a Chongqing restaurant, like, they gotta have a certain amount of power.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think disrespect is the word. He is so rude, and he was being like, he just wants attention.
Yeah.
Like, he being so rude, so loud, and like pushing people away.
Yeah.
Acting like he's that big shot.
Yeah.
And like he's in control of
Exactly.
his IShowSpeed's. Like, he's his manager, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And like just really rude, and just because he knows a few English, he's like no, like, and it just like
Definitely.
I don't know, it's just really rude.
And then there's also this one part that really gets me, is that they brought IShowSpeed to a KTV place, and then he was rapping with 2 rappers, and then they had mic, and then they were rapping. They're like professional rappers, right? And then that guy was like also had a mic and was like going into the mic, and then one of the rapper was like, "Hey, stop doing that." And he didn't listen. And then they was like, hey, stop doing that. And they still didn't listen. So then one of the rapper took his mic away, right?
Wow.
So remember that. So he does not have a mic anymore, right? And then there's 2 rappers, right? So then both of them were rapping.
Does he take the other one?
And then he took the mic of the other rapper.
Wow.
And then the rapper who took the mic away was like, no, you don't do that. But like, because this was on live, it's not like the rapper can do anything.
Oh, it was a live stream.
It was live. He was live for like 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's these kind of actions that Chinese people do that's why like it's so embarrassing. And like when we were younger, like at least like we didn't want to be considered Chinese. It's these kind of actions. It's just so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
Because like it just show how uneducated Chinese people are.
Yeah, like you don't carry yourself with certain decorum. You don't carry yourself with a certain, I guess, respect for others. Like how IShowSpeed is doing, Like within the whole stream that he was in, like even if someone like pushed him, even if someone like was screaming at him, all he did was like he was like, what the heck are you doing? And he was like that. He wasn't like, like he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of shows the difference.
It shows a huge difference.
It shows a huge difference.
Yeah. You said before, like, the Chinese, like, technology. I just want to add to that. Yeah, it's very advanced, actually. Like, I know some friends that recently came out of China, like, 2 or 3 years ago to America. And they're like, yeah, like, in China, you don't need to bring a wallet at all. Like, everything is, like,
Facial recognition.
Yeah, and you scan your phone. It's like really easy to do business and cash, and then like parking, everything. Like it's so convenient.
But that's just basically on the surface. Like if you scratch down below, you basically see.
Yeah, and then like there's a lot of high scrapers too, right?
Skyscrapers.
Skyscrapers too, right? And it's really tall and really nice. But a lot of times, like if something happens, like a little slight earthquake, they collapse.
Ah, yes.
And like a couple days ago,
yeah,
the Thailand Mannar earthquake.
Yeah.
There was a huge skyscraper that collapsed completely, and that was done by a Chinese company.
Oh, it was.
Yes, it was.
You know, in China, like the netizens have like a slang for this, and it's called, what's it called in Chinese? Like 豆腐.
Oh, 豆腐脑?
The 豆腐, no,
豆腐房?
not the 豆腐房 or something like
豆腐楼?
that. 豆腐楼, but it basically says like this building is made out of tofu because you know, as you know, tofu is very soft and it's very crumbly. It breaks easily, so that's what they're calling.
So the main point to get at this is that yes, Chinese things are very like cheap or are done really fast and stuff, but the quality, like it's 偷工减料. There's no quality control.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
It's whatever's the cheapest, whatever's the biggest profit, that's what they get at it. Yeah. So
in the end, we just want to let you guys understand that there's always a good and bad to everything.
Yeah,
you know. So before you go out and you do anything, just make sure that you understand the whole situation. You know, don't judge a book by its cover. You want to read page from page, front to the end, the whole thing, so that you get a very well understanding of what's actually happening.
yeah, and I think the best thing to do is if you have the chance of experiencing it yourself, you should go experience whatever that thing is or whatever that topic is, and like do your own research a little bit and make your own judgment.
So that's it for today, and we will see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, bye.